I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:01. This meeting is being recorded by committee chairs. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify me at this time. See anyone? The purpose of this meeting is to prepare agendas for subcommittees for council consideration. No discussion or comments will be entertained unless requested upon by the committee chairs. And if we could have a roll call, please.
Counselor Bottomley,
Here?
Counselor Gilmore,
Here.
Counselor Bullock,
Here.
Counselor Golub,
Here.
Counselor Toronto.
I'm here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Excellent. And I just wanted to make sure I follow the rules, and Counselor Bullock and Counselor Gordon, or Golub, sorry, Counselor Bullock and Counselor Golub are attending remotely. So we'll start with president's notes, and the first thing we have up is May and June city council meetings. The first one for May is just that we have to schedule, or we've left this May 16th open as a potential day in case we need it. I don't think we will for budget discussion, but I guess we have to have something on the schedule
So
posted.
if you think it will go into another night, we can post a meeting. If you think you'll be done in one night, we don't have to post for the 16th, but we can as a precautionary measure.
Guess I get a sense of the chairs, if you feel we need if we should schedule the second night or not.
I really hope not. I don't,
I'd rather have it.
I mean, we could have it than not. I don't mind doing it out of precaution, but I don't. God, I hope not. I mean, this is, as this is a big operation, like the big portion of this is operational, and this operating budget is wonderful. I can't imagine it going, but I mean, yeah, out of precaution, if we just have to post ahead of time that says if needed.
That's up to you all. That,
I mean, I'd rather do that than call a special meeting after. I guess.
Well, that's true too. Any
Yeah.
thoughts?
I'll share that the one item on our agenda that I think will ask for some conversation is the task fund that Counselor Minhas has asked for. And I said that I was going to share with you all that my recommendation that we have it on the June agenda so that we can really dedicate this agenda to the budget. And he was okay with that. So I don't see anything coming out of appointments and ordinances that'll make this agenda long at all. The only thing that I anticipate is our appointments. So for what that's worth, we're not going to make this meeting longer.
Yeah, similar for EDC, we have one topic that we need to vote on, but I don't think it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna be one that needs much discussion because it's sort of null now that the executive office has come out with a procedure and policy it's just a charter change, simple charter change that has to be done. Although I think it's better safe than sorry to extend it so that we have it, but like, let's not do the thing where we know we have it, so we use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like I think we should go ahead and just have it scheduled in
Post it.
case we need it, even though I kind of doubt it.
okay,
So it's like 3/4 of things in my purse. They're there just in case.
yeah.
The other one was June city council meeting. The main meeting we have to move because it falls on Juneteenth, a holiday. And our rules say that it has to be moved to the next day. So that would be moved to, instead of the 19th, would be Thursday, June 20th for the full council meeting.
My wife will love that. It's her birthday.
How romantic.
Sorry, honey.
So I don't think we have too much choice on that one.
Tammy has received some responses to the June 19th, 20th, and they've been favorable, but she hasn't received all responses from everyone.
I'm gonna be out of town that whole week, so my attendance is not gonna change regardless.
I will also be out of town, but I plan to attend remotely, but it really just depends on the Wi-Fi access where I am, which I'm I don't know at the moment, but my plan is to be there. I'll be in like the middle of the country somewhere, not sure where exactly.
Okay,
And
so,
Oh, Catherine.
I already have it on for Thursday. I'm not sure if I responded to Tammy or not, to be honest, but I know that I received that. She sent the email out a couple of weeks ago and I already changed it, so I will definitely, barring any emergency, I will definitely be there.
I definitely didn't respond to her and I'm sorry.
But you will be there in some fashion?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Maybe
this
with,
is your response.
maybe with a knife in my gullet, but you know, that depends on my wife.
so let's move on to the mayor's appointments, reappointments. That will go to A&O.
I do have one thing.
Yes, yeah.
So the appointment that's listed here for Susan Moore Gaffick as the governor's appointee for the mayor's task force. No, Susan Moore Gaffick for the governor's appointee for the Greenfield Housing Authority, even though it doesn't. Yes, it does. Anyways, the term in the mayor's memo was changed to be in compliance with Mass General Law. There will be a new memo coming to you tomorrow with the expiration date of 29, not 28. So 2028 to 2029. I just wanted to let everybody know.
The,
Really long term.
5-year term.
wow.
Mass General Law for Greenfield Housing Authority is 5-year term.
Wow.
There will be more on this to come next month because we have to straighten a few things out.
Okay.
Okay.
The next, we have a couple transfers that would go to Ways and Means.
Are those the four?
Free cash to close out CDBG grants.
Are these the,
Legal.
these aren't the first reading? Are these the first reading ones? Sorry,
I think they're new.
They're new.
right, I believe those are the new ones.
Yeah, they're gonna be,
So they would be for, that's right. So actually, all of these that we're gonna have, all the rest, there's a stabilization, sewer enterprise, and then Community Preservation Act, which would,
Mhm.
these would all go on June's, wouldn't they?
their first reading for May
At full council.
at full council,
Right.
And
then,
then the June
June's
Ways and Means.
yeah.
So I guess we'll put this down for June. And then the last two after all those CPA are vote to initiate process of naming fields behind high school and vote to initiate process of naming baseball diamond at Veterans Field. And I want to get your thoughts on this. The process is fairly complicated. We already got a recommendation from the Greenfield Rec Commission, the rec director, and the mayor. And so this vote is just to initiate the process and send it to planning and construction. So I don't know if we need to send it to a committee or if we can just simply go to the council floor. Because then planning and construction will hold a hearing and vote on it, and then it comes back to council to approve at the end. So I don't know, my thought was that this could just go to full council. But I thought I'd get your opinions.
It's a really complicated process, huh?
Yeah.
Like we have to vote on it twice? We have to
Yes.
vote to allow them to talk about it,
We have to,
then
yeah,
vote to confirm after they talked about it.
it's part of the ordinance.
That's an ordinance we should look at changing and making a little easier. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been on city council for a while and I've never seen
Yeah,
a field being
a
named.
name, something being named or something.
It's not something we do very often.
It isn't.
I
Wow.
don't know. I'd say full council. I mean, that doesn't sound, I mean, if we're just voting to initiate the process, I don't imagine we're gonna have a big protracted debate over it.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. So what I'm hearing is we'll just send that to full council, both of those. Which is it for the president's note. Under Economic Development Committee, we have the sign regulations. Again,
Yeah, so that I think we can cancel the Economic Development Committee meeting and save everyone, especially Ways and Means crossover people, a meeting.
We're not meeting.
Say that again?
We're not meeting
Oh,
before.
wow.
Oh, we
Awesome.
finished everything last night.
Oh, I haven't watched
Yep.
yet, so, but basically what happened was the executive office came out with the sort of procedures and policies that were discussed in, the EDC meeting last month as an executive order. So we still need to change the charter to allow the municipality to post the signs, but all of the things that we were discussing as like what we wanted in there around like that it had to be able to be turned down at night and it had to, not cause accidents, and all of that has been addressed within the executive order from the mayor's office. So it's pretty null at this point. So we just sort of have to accept the charter changes. So ideally it would just go to council floor directly because the issue was the policies and procedures around the signs, and those have been created.
Quick, Scott, you had some.
So at the council meeting last month, Councilor Garrett requested it go to EDC to have discussion at E EDC.
Yeah, I don't think he knew that I don't think he knew that the mayor's office had done this yet. I met with the mayor and the chief of the fire department. And so that was before these regulations were created. And so we can definitely send the regulations out to EDC members, but if there's an executive order that's put out by the mayor's office that outlines the policy and procedure that addresses the concerns, I'm happy to talk to Counselor Garrett, but I just don't think there's a need for us to discuss this because it's really just about putting in the language around the municipality being allowed to put in signs. And all of the things we were discussing about regulating signs has been addressed in the executive order.
Devil's advocate here, like. I'm not a fan of executive orders because when the executive changes, those orders can go away.
Yeah.
So. The hearing that it would come out of the legislative's body's hand. And be left not codified. In that way. I don't know, it feels like
We can
I don't-
definitely bring it back for another change if we want to. The big issue here is that if we don't pass this, they have to expend this money by it was May 20th or something. And so if we don't make the charter align so that they can use the $50,000 grant money, the city's gonna have to pay for the sign. So we can definitely go back and amend the language to have the policy and procedure we want. If we want to get that nitty gritty at the council level, I agree with you. The next person comes in and can say I want to
you want to blast everyone with LEDs?
yeah, we want 7 kiosks on the common,
Right.
So absolutely, but for the sake of getting charter language on that says that the municipality can post a sign, and for the sake of us having regulations for the next 3.5 years that are solid, I read them, they had all the things about shutting off at night and the LEDs being at a minimal, and and then the fire department has their own specific regulations around what is allowed to be put on the signs, so it's not excessive. We can take it back up because we have this mayor for, another 3.5 years. I feel pretty confident that if we pass this change to allow the municipality to do it and accept the current executive order, or we don't have to accept it, we just are okay with it.
It's already there, yeah.
So
Right.
the only thing is if we did decide to go back and change it, we'd have to go through planning board and everything again, right?
So
Since
I'm
it's a
sorry.
zoning ordinance,
it's up to Marion. So the zoning amendment has a small change to the language to allow the signs. The real meat of it is the executive order. And an executive order can't be changed by the council, but what the council could do if they chose to moving forward would be to create, and this is off the top of my head, an electronic sign board ordinance in conjunction with the zoning ordinance. So you wouldn't change the zoning ordinance, you would create a new ordinance to work in conjunction with it. Having said that, I might want to talk to Eric Torag about it because he's all things zoning. But the two have to cooperate and speak to each other. But the council can't change an executive order.
Yeah, so I'm happy, I mean, I'm happy to hold a meeting for EDC to discuss this. It just seems like there's not really like an option for us at this point. If we say we don't want to pass the piece around the municipality being allowed to put a sign up, then we're not able to use this grant funding that we currently have to buy the sign, which is unfortunate. So my desire is to bring this to council floor and explain we have an executive order. We have a need to change the language to allow the municipality to put a sign up, bring it to a vote so we can do that. And then if the council or EDC wants to come up with our own ordinance, and I'm sure we could work in partnership with the mayor around making sure the executive order and the ordinance align better or whatever, if we need to, that can happen in time. We just don't have time
Right,
for that if we want to use the $50,000 grant we have.
right. So I guess my question, I know we can't change an executive order, but a legislative for the future, and I'm not disagreeing with you on what, like in the short term, should happen, but just for clarification, if we were to put an ordinance in place, that would supersede an executive order. If it were to, like, say, cut down, I don't know, I'm trying to use like an example. If the executive order said 100 lumens or whatever, 1,000 lumens of light is what's acceptable, and we put in an ordinance that says, nah, like 750 is the max, that supersedes an executive order because now it's
An
an
ordinance.
ordinance from the city, correct?
That makes sense.
Right.
Um,
That's how our other branches of government work, so I imagine that's
right,
exactly how.
so that makes sense. I don't think we've ever in Greenfield had a situation that an ordinance was created in conjunction with or to supersede
Right,
an executive order, but that does make sense
okay,
because the ordinance would be codified.
right.
Yeah.
That's all I was.
But I thought
But
that,
the timeline wouldn't, obviously, in short term, this is a good, I think it's a good way to go, what you're saying, Councilor Bullock.
yeah, and not to like throw a wrench in it, and I don't know on the municipal level, but on the state level, I thought that the legislature can't overturn an executive order. But we don't have to discuss that now because I think we just have to do what I like. I think we just have to bring it to the floor and vote on this one ordinance.
Counselor Gold?
With the safe city ordinance, that is what happened. The Mayor Martin did did create an executive order. And the council did then pass something that was more comprehensive. And that did, with the vote of the public too, supporting it, that did supersede the executive order.
Oh, okay, that's great to know.
I mean, I think kind of, not to get in the weeds of this, but I'm pretty sure like kind of just the basis, right? Like legislation makes the law, executive executes the law, right? Judicial upholds the law, kind of three branches. And an executive, I believe the kind of short layman's terms of an executive order is in absence of something already being there, an executive can make an executive decision, right? Like, so
No, and this, I mean, I'm fine with this going to the
Yeah.
floor if that's where we want to go. I'm hearing a bunch of discussion
Right.
here, which makes
Sorry.
me a little bit
Sorry.
concerned that it might need to be discussed.
It wasn't more the topic other than,
Okay.
it was just the process, that's all I was.
And I plan to send out the executive order to ask for that to be sent to the council ahead of the meeting so that there's
Oh,
some.
It's already been sent.
I think we have that. We had that last month too. That was
Okay, great.
attached.
Yeah.
I'll send like a reminder that this is sort of the process and, cause. Yeah, our options are like lose the funding or vote it this way and then go back and write a new ordinance on LED signs if we want to.
Okay, so that sounds good. So we won't have the EDC and we'll bring that directly to council this month. So moving on to A&O. We have all of those appointments and we'll have the updated info on Susan Morgaftig. Is that correct?
It will.
Okay.
Yes.
And I still see, I'm gonna make sure this is all right. The amend Greenfield City Code, Chapter 110, is that still on or not?
I do not want it on the agenda this month.
Okay,
And I've let Kathy know that in June I will be away. We will not be meeting.
okay,
A&O, and I've asked for that to go to the members. So that I would like to discuss at the July A&O meeting.
okay,
And then for under the discussion items, the elderly and disabled taxation fund. So Kathy and I talked about this too, and trying to figure out if something's under discussion, and I may have shared this with you all at the last meeting, but I think it's important just so we're on the same page. So I asked that if something's under discussion and we're ready to vote on it, can we? And you, Kathy, said, yes, we can bring it to a vote. And so this may be ready for a vote. It may not be ready for a vote. So I asked for it to be under discussion. Counselor Minhas is aware of that. So if it is voted on and is forwarded to the full council, I would ask that this goes to the June full council meeting. So not to take the time away from the full budget. So that's the plan for
Okay.
that one. And then the public participation piece, I know I shared this last time. I'm not sure why this is still here. I frankly do not wish to keep discussing this, at least not right now. So I would like this to go away for now. Yeah, if you all want to hear, we could continue the conversation, but I'm game, but that's my
so
vote.
that officially withdrawn then, is that?
So are
Yes.
you withdrawing it?
I am withdrawing that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
So just. So if you want something to go away permanent, we need some sort of verbal, I withdraw, or email, I withdraw, just.
Okay, so I did say this at the last committee chairs. Is it, but I am assuming that it would be helpful in the future for me also to put that in writing, just so that
Yes,
you know you weren't able to be at the meeting. I'll just put it in writing from now on.
okay,
I don't plan to withdraw something else, but if I do, I will put that in writing. So
beautiful, thank
Yeah.
you.
sure.
I think that's it for A&O. Community relations, you have anything on?
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I don't see any agenda items, so we can cancel CRC. Ways and Means finished their budget deliberation, and I don't, since this one would fall.
There are 4 items up. 2 of them are the rescinded and then redone water and sewer enterprise switch.
Yeah.
There's only 2 other financial orders up. And I have full faith that we can handle those at our regular meeting. We don't need the subcommittee to
Okay,
discuss that. So I would like to,
Cancel,
we just had meetings. I'd like to not have another one before full council.
no, that's fine. And then all of the rest of these CPA.
Those are all first
the
readings.
first reading.
Will go into June as normal.
Mhm.
I think that's it for ways and, city clerk report.
We have a new administrative assistant that started on Monday. Woot woot. So stop by, love to introduce you to him.
Who is this person?
This person's name is Alicia.
Okay.
She has administrative experience, not municipal experience. But this is her second day and she's really doing great.
Nice.
Yeah. So, nice.
I know, I saw that on there and I was like, oh, she's been waiting for that.
Yeah. And I touched on this earlier when we were talking about Susan Wargaftic. The Greenfield Housing Authority appointment dates need to be brought in line with Mass General Law so that one expires every year, they're 5-year terms. Over the past, I don't really know how long it's been off. We've been in communication with the Greenfield Housing Authority and have a plan to move forward. More about it coming in June.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
follow up to that. So will that alter the vote that needs to happen at A&O in any way? Like, will we need to vote to amend this appointment?
No, you will not.
Okay.
So this appointment for Susan Wargaftic, if it is voted to recommend by the A&O and then the council will be in line, will be the proper expiration date and will fall in line with the corrections, even though it really wasn't a mistake by mistake, it was just, it's a change. So, but this date that you all have now of 2029 for Ms. Wargaftic will be proper.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Going to the draft of the city council meeting for May 15th. Looks like we got the vote to initiate the process for the renaming of the fields, the naming of the baseball diamond, mayor's appointments, amend zoning ordinance, the signs. And there are what's that?
Shouldn't that one come off though?
No, the signs was going to come to full council, right?
Okay, never mind, I got it.
And then transfers, those were the transfers you were talking about. There are 4 transfers that we'll handle at the meeting. And then we go into operating budget. And all the appropriations from the funds, that all looks right. And then there's the long list of first readings. June.
It's not as long as capital was.
No,
That's-
not as many transfers with all the account numbers.
Oh, yes, yes.
And Marlo isn't splitting anything into 3 different departments. I have to read it thrice.
1/3 of a lawnmower.
Right. All right, so I think that's it for the full agenda and the committee meetings for this month. So unless anyone has anything else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And I guess we have to vote on that, don't we? All in favor?
So we are remote. It should be a roll call.
Call vote. You, Clerk Scott?
Roll call vote to adjourn. President Bottomley,
Yes.
Vice President Gilmore.
Yes.
Counselor Bullock,
Yes.
Counselor Golub,
Yes.
Counselor Toronto.
Absolutely.
The motion passes. Meeting adjourned.